Okay, great. It's awesome to have a couple of product entrepreneurs who have broken into the top rungs of entrepreneurship here. Now, quick question. Both of you all have a connection here to Kolkata. What's in the water in Kolkata that brings out product entrepreneurs?
Yeah, we started from Calcutta 2008, basically for the couple of reasons, it's near to Kharagpur, from where we graduated and got the seed funding, so that we thought, okay, we'll hire a couple of interns and save money so that we'll build the company. And then Kolkata, hiring was very low for the sales guys, etc. And third part is we'll test the market. Because in early days, we say, Calcutta is the biggest market, tough market to crack basically. So this is why we could try in Calcutta, then move to the Bangalore.
Got it. How about you, Pallav? What's the connection?
So for the first 15 years of my life, I was actually in a small town in Bihar called Bhagalpur. And my dad used to run a bunch of businesses there, starting from civil real estate to computer training academy. And then when the web came into India, he started a web design agency. Naturally, Bhagalpur did not have a lot of clients, so he shifted to Calcutta. And we shifted along with him. And at that point in time, I was moving to a new school, obviously, after my class 10, which was Lamar Danger. And here was a small town boy who had an aspiration to be like a city boy. So my business was actually not meant to be a business, but it was just a way to make me pocket money. And that's how the journey started.
So you really had no choice. You were 15 years old, your parents were in Kolkata, and that's where you started.
Yes, and the need for pocket money.
Very good. So Ajay, one of the most interesting aspects of your story is actually how deep the interaction was with IIT Kharagpur. You truly are a star of that entrepreneurship cell there, right? In terms of how they nurtured you very early, before anybody would bet on you, right?
Right. Anish and Krishna set up the IIT entrepreneur cell in IIT Kharagpur in 2005 and 6 basically. And I think the IIT Kharagpur E-cell was the first E-cell in the country that we set up. Then after that, lots of institute and they set up. And then that's how we got the couple of seed funding from the Kharagpur and startup.
So the first 10 lakhs came from there?
Yeah, first 10 lakhs came from the Kharagpur.
And they bailed you out again a little later in the story.
Yeah, and then after 9 months, we are running out the money, and then we run out with the various angel investors, etc. But nobody has agreed to bail out. Then Kharagpur again bails out for the 5 lakh rupees. And because of that, we are here today.
Excellent. That's an excellent story, and it's commendable that IIT pulled in, an early bet on you guys. So, Pallav, tell me a little bit. You when we were talking, you talked about how you decided to go global. You all have very different paths. Both of you all are global product companies out of India, but you decided to go global when you were 16. What was the trigger there?
So after my dad shifted to Calcutta, he was running a web design agency, and then he shifted to building products for local Indian market. And despite making good products, boy, it was a tough sell back then. So in all my discussions with Dad would tell how even though we are solving real business problems, distribution is a challenge. People are not willing to pay for software. So I took those lessons and said, hey, when I'm building my business, I'm going to start global and then come back to India. So it was a very clear decision up front. And initially when I was building the product, I put it up on the web, and we saw good early traction, and that revalidated the fact that let's start outside and.
So then, as I was walking through with you guys, again, so many patterns that you had to discover from scratch, right? There were no role models in Kolkata that you could talk to. There were certainly no organizations that did meetups of any kind, right? So tell me, how did you kind of iterate through? You did a lot of iterative design, lean design, before it was called that even, right?
Right, so what happened is, let's just take an example. When I hired people, I did not even know that something called an HR policy. I was all of 19 then. I did not know people need to take leave. So I said, let's just get people and get them to work on the most important thing, which is making products. So eventually the goal was always building products and getting it to as many customers. So when the goal was that, everything later came around that. So we did a lot of experiment, but we had the misfortune of firing people on 1st of January because, again, I did not know it's a bad day to fire, and a bunch of such stupid mistakes in hindsight, but I think that's what has made us as a company. So every single point in time, we were doing a lot of things and we were failing fast.
But you were very small, right? Tell us the story of how, you basically played multiple roles, right? You wore lots of hats for the longest period, right?
So for the first 3 years, it was just me working alone in my bedroom, which kept the cost low, which means right from my first sale, I was profitable. I was doing all the coding, sales, marketing, talking to customers, all that. And then the first employee I had at that point, we did not even have an office. So he worked from my bedroom for 4 months. So that was the beauty of being young, because you don't have anybody else in the bedroom, so you can utilize the space. And after that, we got our first office. So this was again Calcutta, so we bought our first office for 10 lakh rupees because the building was slightly tilted. I said, you know what, we are in the ground floor, we'll have enough time if something happens to the building. So all of that happened in a very, very lean way, and throughout we were having initially generalists who would come and help me, and later we would hire specialists for different kind of the roles that we had.
How many customers did you have at that point?
So this was 2005, we had a couple of thousand customers at that point.
Couple of thousand customers.
Yeah.
Where were they? All over the world?
Mostly outside India. So US, UK, Canada, and most of these guys would discover us on the web. So one of the things which we did is right from day one, we were inspired by global companies, and we tried to project an image like a global company, even though the world did not know it's just a teenager sitting behind a computer in a bedroom. So we had to project the best image we could, and we firmly believed in this, that on the internet no one knows you are small. So try to look as good as you can.
So you hid behind the internet in some sense. Very good. But now what is the story now, Pallav? Just to complete the thread there. How are you positioning yourself today? You're still very young. You're really truly the young Turk among these 13, right? The youngest.
Yeah, still in my 20s, so that works. In terms of company, like we have 23,000 customers, 85% of Fortune 500 companies. We touch almost 500,000 developers. Our product generates over a couple billion charts every single month. So while it's a very niche category, but it's a very interesting category, especially how data is being more and more, data is more important to the businesses, and for data to be consumed easily, visualization is the second most important thing thereafter.
Got it. And Ajay, how about yourself? Tell us a little bit about that early insight, customer insight. You all struggled a lot to get the product to the right fit, right?
Right, like the current product is our third product basically. We started with you can say SMS-based deal platform in 2008. Tried for around 4 or 5 months and we got hardly any SMS on their platform. Then we moved to the traffic police, Kolkata police SMS-based traffic management. Then we sit around like 10 days in Kolkata police office, day in, day out, maintaining the complete data, and then maintaining the complete platform. In Durga Puja, we realized, okay, India, like hardly any people are sending SMS and get the information. And Airtel and Voda sent around 10 million SMS at that time to popularize our service, but no result, no revenue model. Then at that time, we started meeting like door to door every retailer, what's your pain point, etc., etc. Then we got to know, okay, retailer wants very small service. As soon as customer leaves, can customer get the SMS, thank you for shopping with us. And from that point, we build up the complete loyalty and customer engagement solution. And the funny part is like we started selling this service for 200 rupees in Kolkata. And believe me, like people are saying it's too expensive. Like they will hardly pay 50 rupees or 40 rupees kind of thing for that service.
That was 200 rupees a store per month. And they thought it was too expensive.
They think like too expensive. Then we moved to Bangalore, and then in Bangalore we realized, okay, 2000 is also very cheap. So we started selling for 5,000 rupees.
Excellent. And then you moved to New York and you got American Express now.
And then other cities in dollars now, obviously.
Very good, very good. Now, so Pallav, tell us a little bit about, you all are also, fortunately for the ecosystem, very sharing in helping kind of nurture other entrepreneurs. Because, the journey you all have taken, you all have learned a lot in spite of your very young age. I think, and that sharing happens a lot. What do you see in the ecosystem going forward, as you see the product ecosystem in particular?
So I think a couple of things are going very well. Like one is the paid forward culture of Silicon Valley being adapted here really well. Like everybody's, like at least in the IT ecosystem, everybody's open to share their tricks of the trade. They're helping each other in one way or the other. Second thing is I still remember like my initial employees when I had to get them to join me. I not only had to convince them, their mother-in-law, their father-in-law, their father, mother, and more so in Calcutta because they're more risk averse there. So they would want to go and join a TCS or a Cognizant or one of these big guys. I don't see that happening. Today more and more parents are happy that the kids are either joining a startup or they're starting up something on their own. So that's a significant change. And I see failure again will be a lot more accepted as we go ahead, and that will be a great sign for the ecosystem because we'll have so many more people who have been there, done that, tried, failed or succeeded, who can come back and contribute to the other companies in the ecosystem.
Great. And Ajay, how about yourselves? You're now consciously going global with a big footprint. You've signed an agreement with American Express to help you get to SMB markets. Tell us a little bit about your plans. And the team is also very distributed, right?
Yeah, right now, we are present in around 16 countries. We are hugely targeting international market part basically. And a couple of years, last years, we got the American Express as investor to help it for Singapore and the US market basically. And our international part is mainly from the customers. In 2010, Alok Group has referred to the one customer in the UK, and from India, couple of guys like Pizza Hut, Puma has given us a global footprint basically. And
so you basically sold Indian customers who then referred you to their parents overseas.
And still we are following the same thing. Last month we closed a big deal in China, again referred by the India, and that's why we are opening China. So we'll follow the same thing.
Got it. So let's talk a little bit about funding, and you'll have very contrasting paths to success. Pallav, you have bootstrapped from 16 to where you are today, and you haven't taken any investors on board. You've never had to. Whereas you've gone from early IIT accelerator model, let's say, to angel investing, IAN, to VCs, and then a strategic also now, right?
Right.
Only IPOs left, I guess, and maybe PE in between. So tell us a little bit about the path and where.
It's we started in 2008, all the three, hardly any savings from the job, because 1 year, how much you can save in 1 year. So we got the seed funding from Kharagpur, and in 2009, and we got the Q Prize award in India basically. So we got $100,000. And again, building an enterprise company required lots of teams, from support to operations to servicing to then the complete product management and marketing. So initial investment is quite high. So that's why in 2012 we again go to the Sequoia Norwest and then moving on.
Great. And Pallav, how about yourself?
So I think that when I started in 2002, I had not heard about venture capital, and venture capitalists had not heard about Calcutta. And by the time we had enough money in the bank from our cash flows, we did not need money. So
tell us about that first check. You got some $15 check. What happened to it?
So at that point in time, our product was online, but we did not have payment gateways, because payment gateways were not commodity like it is right now. So we would ask customers from US, UK, wherever it is, to send a check. The check would be for $15 because that was the price of the license. They would actually incur a cost to send the check, let's say, even if it's postal, a few dollars here and there. The first check which we actually deposited in our bank incurred a charge of $35, bank charges. So I made a loss on my first sale.
Talk about reverse revenues. Excellent. But then that was just the beginning for you, right? That was the first check. Tell us how much you raised in revenue, right? Before you hired your first salesperson.
So we actually hired our first salesperson, and this is counterintuitive after we got 10,000 customers, because we were a marketing fueled and sales fulfilled company. So our sales was only in India. Even today we don't have any person outside India. So after 10,000 customers, and we had almost $4 million in revenue then.
Very cool. How about yourself, Ajay?
We hired, you can say, initial sales was under founders only. Then after 2010, we hired people from every country. We hired the local people to make sure that we scale up basically, because our model is completely fit on the street. It's not like a digital marketing or thing.
Got it. So now, any advice you have? One of the things that we'd like to encourage, obviously, is much more product entrepreneurship. I think there's a huge opportunity to build another big, huge industry out of India, and you all are the stars of that. What guidance would you have for young entrepreneurs who are jumping in, to get into product entrepreneurship, especially?
I think speaking purely from a product perspective, the only advice I dole out is, if you're not ashamed of the first version of your product, you're shipping too late.
Got it.
Firstly, customer feedback is the most important part, and focus on the product, because we have tried in India, every retailer will want a different service or different product, and for a product company it's not possible to build different things. So today also we maintain a single version and single thing across all the 175 brands and everything. Yeah, so it's focus on that part.
Perfect. And what's next for Capillary? Are you guys also looking to list and go big?
We want to build big. That's a part.
Excellent. And Pallav, how about yourself? You have as your partner and your co-founder your dad, right? And how has that worked out, and what's the future now for you? going forward. I know we talked about, 2 years ago when you had an acquisition offer from one of the largest technology firms, but you decided to pass on that and move on and keep building, right?
Yeah, so we're still in the building stage in terms of the intersection of data, design, and mobility. I think we're going to do that for a long while. And in terms of working with that, I mean, it's a fantastic experience because more so in India, typically sons and dads don't talk on a regular basis, or at least when I've seen that. So when you're in business every single day, something happens, you got to pick the phone and talk to your dad. So that works well. And we have a clear areas of responsibility. So I handle the product and the marketing. He handles all the finance and sales. So every single day we have to sync up, and this relationship just goes on stronger. So I'd absolutely recommend it to anybody who's going to try it.
Excellent. Two trailblazing entrepreneurs who are going to help us, build a huge product industry here in India. Thank you to both of you, Pallav and Ajay. Congrats.
Thanks, Ravi.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Pallav. Thank you, Ajay.